All right, what's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another live stream. How are we all doing today? Let us know what's going on in the live chat. Quick live stream here. Wasn't really planning to do this, but we are seeing Bitcoin dip down a little bit right now. So there's going to be a little bit to unpack right here. Welcome to the live stream. I don't know if we're good. So as usual, give me an audio video check in the live chat. I'm just gonna wait for a couple people to tune in because on my side it says we've got 9 people watching, which I don't think is correct. I hope it's not correct. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the live stream. Sergeant Squid, Jim Bob, Six Labs, what's going on? Welcome, ladies and gents, to the live stream. Yeah, 53, that makes a lot more sense, you know, to kick the stream off for the first minute. I was like, there's no way there's 9 people watching. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. Smash up those likes as you are coming in. Let me know where in the world you are watching from. You always know I love it. I love it. I love knowing where you guys are watching from. Very, very fun. Algo not allowing to show this. I know, dude. You just gotta pump up those likes for me. That's gonna help us. If every single one of you can smash up those likes, we will get this live stream pushed out to subscribers. It's just a case of hitting those likes, unfortunately. That's really all it boils down to. Alright, what's up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the live stream. Let's see who we got here. Real quick, before we get into that, Bitcoin right here is sitting at 121,400. It was a pretty slow move up once Bitcoin got above 120. You know, it took Bitcoin, 3 days to get up and 23 hours to drop down this much. So we're going to be covering that in this live stream. That's going to be one of the bigger kind of stories of today, so to speak. So it's going to be exciting to kind of get into. So as you are coming in, ladies and gents, smash up those likes. Let's get this thing above 50. That should be easy, light work for us today. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Streaming at a normal time. This is where we usually stream. All right, let's see who we got in the live chat. Lewis, what's up, Lewis? Welcome to another live stream. Between the Isles, what's going on? Felipe. We got Waldy from Poland. We got Belgium, South Wales, Oxford, Miami Beach, Czech Republic, Tampa, DC, LA, Huntington Beach. Man, I love Huntington Beach. That is a nice area. That is a very, very nice place. That's a good life. South Carolina, Hong Kong, Kentucky. What's going on? Hell yeah, nice one. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. Smash up those likes as you are coming in. A little bit of a drop on Bitcoin right now. We've just slid down another $100 from 121.4 to 121.3. So we're going to be covering this, really breaking down what we're seeing here in the live stream today. North Carolina, Kentucky, Netherlands, at Soho Beach House in Miami Beach. Hell yeah. Good stuff, dude. Tin Man, smash up the likes, folks. Thanks, Sammy. Always a fun time hanging here with you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We got London, baby, and we also got miserable England, Sacramento, Cali. What's going on? Welcome to the live stream, everybody. I'm sorry you got to live near Mr. Newsom, mate. That would be... I don't know how I'd feel living in Newsom's neighborhood. But to each their own. See what we got here. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a drop for Bitcoin today. Got Vegas in the house. What's up, Vegas? A little bit of a drop for Bitcoin today. What I don't like... Okay, there's a couple things I don't like about this. The first thing I don't like about this is that, we were kind of finding support off this 122 level. And then we just kind of, fell straight through it. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. And really it doesn't, and I'll tell you why in a second. But the second thing I don't like is just the fact that it dropped so quickly. For Bitcoin to get, basically up to this high, which is here, let's just say, from this perspective here, it took Bitcoin 11 hours. But then from the same price level to drop down even lower, it took 4 hours. It doesn't really matter how you draw this. There's a lot of different ways that you could draw this. What we are seeing, without much hesitation or doubt, is a market that is just not in a good posture right now. Now, let's not even look at Bitcoin, though. Let's be sensible about this, and let's actually look at the S&P 500. The S&P 500 began trading again yesterday, and here's the candle. We moved up a little bit, had a slight update, and now we've kind of eclipsed that candle and the candle before that with today's Tuesday trading session, which Granted, still has about 3 hours left in this trading session, so this could go any way. But obviously, we are erasing some of those gains that we were able to make for the S&P 500, and that's probably the only reason that Bitcoin's dropping right now. Okay, the S&P was looking pretty good. It's still looking absolutely breathtakingly fantastic, but it is in a very, 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 very small pullback right now, and I think that's probably the key thing that's kind of contributing to this sell-off for Bitcoin. So in other words, I don't think this is anything significant or worrying at all. At all. I don't think this is worrying at all. We got Melbourne, Australia. What's going on, dude? What time is it in Melbourne? Isn't it like 2 a.m. there or something? Welcome to the live stream, everyone. Smash up those likes as you are coming in. Let's get this thing up above 100. We're so close to 50. I know we're going to hit that in a second, but let's get this thing above 100. Already got a lot more people tuning in than usual, so the channel is coming back a little bit. That's nice. That's nice. It's nice to see. So thank you all very, very much. Smash them up as you are coming in here. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. As you are coming in, drop in the live chat where in the world you're watching from. We got Southeast UK, Melbourne, Australia, Cape Town, South Africa. Legends. So cool. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. Your stream marked yet another local top. Oh, dude, don't do this. It's so true. We stream right when the market tops, but hey, that's fine. That's fine. We're rolling with it. Now, the thing that I want to draw your attention to as far as Bitcoin's price action is concerned, I mentioned that we dropped below 122, whatever, not great. I mentioned that we dropped fast. That's also not great. What I really don't like, what I really don't mind though, is the fact that Bitcoin hasn't actually fallen down to a key level of support yet. For me, the first key level of support on this chart is at 120. It's this level right here that Bitcoin has consistently managed to kind of get rejected from when Bitcoin was trading here initially in July. And, there's a little bit more resistance here in August and whatever the hell this was. This is definitely a zone that's going to offer some trouble for Bitcoin, or in this case, potentially some support. So we haven't actually hit the key level of support that we want to see in this market yet. So that's really good. That to me is a strong sign that this market might actually, have to come down here. And at this point, where is it going to stop, right? I mean, if we really zoom in, it is kind of fighting a little bit, right? Like, we can see that it's trying. But, I mean, realistically, this thing is going to have to fall into this yellow box from what I can see right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that rect cam on the right-hand side of the screen so that you guys can be degenerates if you really want to and watch the Bitcoin price action on the minute time frame here. So let's just go ahead and position that adequately. And that's Bitcoin right now on the 1 minute time frame. So you can just kind of keep your brain occupied with that if that's what you like to do. And yeah, there we go. That's all on the right-hand side for you guys to check out. So, that's interesting. But, Bitcoin, coming down to this level, I think is kind of like the only key thing that really makes sense now. And it's going to be a case of kind of seeing, well, what does Bitcoin do at this price level? This is the first support level that Bitcoin has above basically where we've broken out. So this, yay for the DJ Cam. Hell yeah. Welcome to the live stream. Davine, what's up? Who's still waiting for 10K? I don't know. There's probably somebody looking for a CME gap at 9K, isn't there? So that'll probably be it. But that's the first kind of level of support that we actually have, right? We don't really have any real levels of support below 100. We set an all-time high at 126. I don't even know that. I thought it was 125, but whatever. That's the first level of support we have below 126K. It's at 120. And it's a very, very nice palatable level. So we don't really care about what happens here with this market, until it falls down to this level as far as I'm concerned. Okay, this is the support level. We haven't hit the support level yet. So I want to hit the support level. Okay, like hanging around in the middle of fucking nowhere isn't doing anyone any good. But if we are falling down to support levels, what that gives us a chance to do is produce a bounce. And if we produce a bounce, the bears are going to shut up really quickly. Because producing a bounce off a level like this is a very strong message that basically says, hey, like, we're good. We're in a good posture right now, and this is going to be hard for bears to knock. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. Smash up those likes as you are coming in. Double check, of course, that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel as well. And on the flip side, if we hit support and there's no response, maybe there's a lackluster response and then we just kind of, shit again, that's going to send a clear message to the bulls. And that's going to tell us that we got absolutely duped once again, and we got fooled, And this was not a real all-time high that Bitcoin hit. It was only, scratching a tiny bit higher, and we're getting scammed again, right? That's basically, and everything's against us, and, like the system is rigged, and we need to go back to the gold standard. That's kind of what that tells us if we end up doing something like this. So that's the reason we really want to see the price come down to the support level, because we don't, like, right now we understand a few things about the market. Okay, let's just operate based on facts, right? So the first fact that we know very, very well is that Bitcoin is in a solid long-term uptrend. Second fact, Bitcoin is in a solid mid-term uptrend. And the third one that we're going to fill in, because we don't know this yet, is what we're doing for the short term. Okay, so for the short term, if we fall down to the support level, we're going to start getting answers of what that looks like. If we fall down to the support level and we stabilize there, that's going to tell us that the bulls do not have enough energy or power to instantly send this shit higher to new all-time highs. And that makes sense because the S&P 500 hasn't been moving up today. So that's the first thing that it could tell us. The second thing it could tell us is actually we get a bounce. Well, actually, bulls are really strong. Bears don't really have a say in the market right now, and again, that's going to still rely on the S&P 500. So it could be that we only fall down to that support level tomorrow, for example. We don't have to fall down there today. So that's going to be another thing to look at. And obviously, the final outcome is that we just crash below the support level. And again, in that situation, now we're looking at the next zones of support that Bitcoin has, and this isn't actually so bad. I drew this a little bit exaggerated, but truthfully, it should be drawn. I don't know if I can move this. No, I can't. But it should be drawn, something a little bit more like, like this, because this is that next level of support where we can again have that same opportunity for bulls to prove a little bit of strength or for bears to prove dominance. And I really don't see how bears are going to be able to prove dominance in this market, right? Like from what I can see right here in this market, it looks overwhelmingly likely that because of the structure Bitcoin is in coming into these price levels here, that Bitcoin should be able to find support at one of these two price levels, be it 120 or 117. Now, there is room for a deviation, okay? If Bitcoin is going to use this 117K level of support, it totally makes sense that it first grabs liquidity and does something a little bit like this and then continues, right? That's something we've seen a million times. We've seen it as resistance and we've seen it as support. Shout out to 𝐿_Rider in the live chat. What's going on, mate? Welcome to the live stream. We got Sweden in the house. See who else we got on the live stream here. Thanks for smashing up those likes, you absolute legends, ladies and gents. Let's see if we can get this thing above 100 right here. Already take big profit at the top. Good shit, dude. And buy some 15 minutes ago, but I don't know if that's safe. Yeah, not sure, dude. The market is cooked. I don't care what these YouTubers say. What the fuck, dude? What? What did I just read? What did I just read? People unfortunately are very fickle in today's world. Yeah, it's true, dude. It's true. It's true. And we got Angry Goy in the live chat. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys are gonna get me fucking banned on YouTube, dude. I can't even read your fucking comments, can I? All right. Let's let's carry on. So support here at 120, support here at 117, deviation possible, but we don't really worry about that too much. And other than that, I mean, I don't really see either of these two levels failing, right? I mean, maybe this one fails, but I don't see this one failing. And if both of them fail, then we are looking at a kind of return back down to the bottom of this range. And that would be a nice support level. But again, I don't really know about, if that level would hold because we've already tested it once and twice. So, I'm not going to be too optimistic about, Bitcoin holding at those kind of levels. So I think that's going to be something interesting to kind of watch out for. How much percentage would I give the possibility that we fall down below the support? It's probably like 10%, 20%. I think it's very unlikely. I think it's very unlikely that Bitcoin falls below both of these. I mean, like I said, deviation is possible, but, beyond the risk of a deviation, I mean, like a real drop, I would put that down at like 10, 20% right now because, well, actually more like zero because, to be honest, like it just completely depends on the S&P 500. This picture might change, right? If the S&P 500 drops below like, 6,600, then yeah, like Bitcoin is probably going to dip quite hard. So, that's going to then change my percentages to like 90%, chance that I think Bitcoin falls below those levels. But as it stands right now, the fact that the S&P is up here, the fact that it looks like the S&P is going to continue going up, I don't have any concerns. I think that we're looking pretty good. Geo says we could just be range bound here, and I completely agree with you, dude. I think that's one of the stronger ideas here is that Bitcoin, I didn't even cover this yet, but I completely agree, dude. The idea that Bitcoin just kind of like, does this for like a month, you know, some annoying shit like this, very likely, right? Very, very likely for Bitcoin with its current kind of behavior track record that it does something a little bit like that, literally for like a month or two, literally. My average cost for Bitcoin is 8K. When should I be fearful? Never, sir. You've got a very good entry. Welcome to the stream, Chef. Yeah, nice stream. Thank you very much. Actually, you were already here. If you can't see any video, just refresh the stream. Looks to be working for everybody else. Has there been any specific thing that caused this tiny pullback? I don't know, and I don't really care. I don't think it matters. There probably is something, but you know, the real reason is just the fact that the S&P 500 has, you know, kind of, you know, taken a tiny dip. That's going to be the real reason that, you know, Bitcoin can't hold up where it is. It's really typically not worth asking why did XYZ happen. It's just the market playing itself out. So I wouldn't even think too deeply about it. 240 viewers, legends. Thank you all very much. Smash up those likes if you are just tuning in. Double check, of course, that you are subscribed. Which levels, for example, all-time high, do you think we're more likely to reach this year? So I got no idea. I think it completely depends on, you know, aggression that we carry. We've still got 3 full months left of this year. So, you know, 130, 150 both make complete sense to me. But I don't really know, and I don't really want to speculate on where we're going to top for this year. I don't think that it's a productive conversation, because what the hell can we do with that anyway? You know, like, you can't even really like draw out a take profit plan based on that. You just got to like wait to see what the market gives you and see when you're ready to start cashing out. What if 126K is all we get before the bear market? I mean, what if, dude? What if? But, you know, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we're looking pretty good. 4-year cycle is broken. I stand by this firmly. I agree with you, 𝐂𝐿𝐴𝐺𝐺. I fully agree with you. You know, I don't think the 4-year cycle is anything real at all. Never liked it. Never believed in it. Always thought it was a childish, silly theory. And I still believe that to be the case right now. And I don't think 126 is the top. I think that's incredibly unlikely. I know that a lot of people are saying that, but that's not what happens at tops, right? At tops, people do not think that we're at a top. That's the nature of a top, is that actually people are, you know, underestimating it and, you know, just overly bearish when they don't necessarily need to be. And what happens is that these people who are bearish, perhaps when they shouldn't be bearish, you know, these people end up switching sides and becoming bullish because the market just keeps on disproving their ideas. And then eventually all of those bears become bulls. And then all of those bulls are right for a month or two or whatever. And then you just get all this continuous confirmation that if you're a bull, you're right. And if you're a bear, you're wrong. And that turns the bulls very cocky and arrogant. We definitely don't have any sort of arrogance in this market right now from bulls. And that's usually the kind of late stage of the bull market. So here's Bitcoin, by the way, just while we're on this. It is kind of revisiting some of these lows now, 121.2, 0.3 roughly. So let's see where Bitcoin goes here on this degen minute time frame, because if we do end up sweeping this low, we're probably returning down into this box and let's say like the low 120s. So that would mean kind of basically like sweeping where, I mean, we've already kind of swept it. So it's just a case of seeing, you know, if this does result in some follow through now to the downside. Oracle reported today that data centers for AI are not profitable. Market reacted. I mean, that's nothing really at all. Which level would I close my long trade and how it needs to get there? I don't know, dude. Honestly, it's, you know, I'm not even thinking of it that way. Interest from retail is still so low, which is exactly why, you know, I think that we've got so much more room to run in this market. Apparently, Binance Coin is looking really good. Look at Binance Coin against Bitcoin. Holy shit. Binance Coin just doesn't give a shit, dude. Binance Coin is just doing what it wants to do. Binance Coin against the dollar is now at an all-time high, if I'm not mistaken, or it's definitely very, very high. $1,300. So that's definitely an interesting sign. Not sure exactly why this is happening, but that's very, very cool. Especially the fact that it's going up so well against Bitcoin. This is going to be interesting if we do see a pullback here on Bitcoin, because, I mean, this is quite a fucking rally. You know, it would make sense that it kind of hits this top level and then comes back down, and that's kind of where I've drawn out a potential buy as well, with this crudely drawn, not so straight diagonal line. Will Bitcoin or top 5 alts perform better over the next 3 months? I don't know. You're asking for like straight up fucking fortune teller predictions, but you know, like I think that the odds are on our side. I think that probabilities are definitely on our side for the rest of this year overall. What does BNB even do? I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. It's probably got some like fluff that they justify, but it's really just speculation at the end of the day. It's good to buy Cardano ADA now. I mean, I think it's actually a pretty good level for Cardano. I was thinking of buying some more myself, to be honest, because I mean, it's basically down at the bottom of this range, and I mean, how often does it drop below this range? You know, I mean, this is 2025 started like here, and it dropped below it for like a day here, and I mean like a solid fucking month over here. But other than that, you know, it's held pretty well at this level. So I do think that this is basically like one of the lower levels that, you know, we're gonna get a chance to buy Cardano, unless Bitcoin dominance just shoots up for some reason, which is entirely possible. But I don't know how worried I am about that. Like, I think there's still, you know, and it totally depends on just, you know, what, you know, your goal allocation is, right? Like, if you're not like allocated enough into altcoins compared to what you want, then, you know, some people are going to end up kind of rushing that a little bit to kind of, you know, cover that ground. And I think that makes sense, right? I mean, that's what I would do if I felt underexposed. I would kind of, you know, I'd be building up my exposure quickly, and then as I reach my kind of target exposure level, I would slow down on my buys and be more, you know, careful about getting the right buys in. Obviously, I'm always managing it. I mean, price is everything, right? You need a good price of when you buy these assets. But, you know, my point is that when you've already kind of got a lot, and you don't have a lot more that is remaining to buy, you can be a lot more picky with what your entries are. So again, this is going to totally depend on, you know, who you are, how much you've got in alts, how much you want to have in alts. You know, these kind of questions I think are very, very important. How about Aster? Is it good to buy now? I haven't looked at Aster, dude. Don't really know too much about Aster, but let's take another quick look. This is CZ's coin, right? CZ. Yeah, it's chilling, dude. It's chilling. It's in a good place. I mean, this is kind of how coins end up pumping, so it definitely could be, you know, Adam predicts a black swan. There you go. We're predicting black swans now. You know, Aster, you know, I mean, whatever. It looks like it's at a good level. It's definitely an interesting support level. If it does end up failing this level, then, you know, $1.80 also makes a lot of sense. But, you know, I mean, it's in a pretty good posture overall. I mean, if it continues this kind of rally, it is going to just, you know, absolutely explode and get to some very, very silly levels. Let's actually see coin market cap, Aster, what? Why is everything so complicated now? Am I too old for this shit now? What's going on? Dude, is Aster even on this? Aster. Yeah, beats me, fam. Don't know. It's probably this one, isn't it? But this is on a DEX. I don't want to look at a DEX. I don't know. I'm going to try one more time, but I got to be doing something stupid. Yeah, it looks like I was doing something stupid. It's this one, right? So Aster right now sits at position 37 with a total FDV fully diluted. No, that's not it. Is it? Yeah, no, this is fully diluted value. Yeah. So 3.4, but I'm more interested in this number. So it sits at 16 billion market cap right now, which is pretty large. That definitely makes it a major. I don't look at the actual market cap number because it's fake shit, dude. You know, like it's you know, I mean, I guess circulating supply is important, but no, I mean, Aster's like a very, very interesting one. I mean, with this kind of market cap, it definitely has room for another like 2, 3, 4, 5x, whatever. That doesn't mean I'm saying it's a good buy at all. I don't really like hype buys like this. I find them to be very dangerous. But if these are the new crypto kids, they better go to a casino. They understand. What does Binance Coin do? That's the best question. Top 5 coin, dude. I don't think it matters. You know, like. No one's really asking questions like, what does 𝐂𝐥𝐻𝐳 do? It's just like, does the next dickhead want to pay for it? If the answer is yes, then okay. They buy it. So which do you buy right now? Aster or ADA, if you can only pick one? I'm definitely an ADA guy, dude. You know, like, I don't even know what Aster is. I don't like anything Binance or CZ, typically, just as a baseline thing, because I find them to be, I don't know, they're good. They're very, very good. I just don't love them. And... yeah, so and I think ADA, you know, it's just in a better kind of, you know, like, it's got a really good chart, right? Like Aster, we've never seen this shit before, but Cardano, like, we know exactly where this thing can go against Bitcoin, and against the dollar, but that's not as important at all. But you know, because of that, I just think, yeah, like, I mean, if you buy this bitch now and it just goes up to like a pretty reasonable level, but I mean, that's still a 72% rise from here. Against Bitcoin. That's kind of crazy, dude. You know, you put a Bitcoin in and you get 1.7 Bitcoins out. That's amazing. You know, that's really good money. And that's just up to this level. I mean, you know, if it reaches like, you know, a shadow of its all-time high, let's say up here, that's a 5 times gain. You know, 1 Bitcoin becomes 5 Bitcoins at that point. World Liberty Fi, is it a good idea? Again, you know, just hot smoke, dude. Stuff that doesn't matter in my opinion. I like that it's Trump backed. I like that it's crashed to shit, but if anything, this is something I would want to short into oblivion, dude, you know, with a nice stop loss. I don't really I don't have love or respect for any of these coins. Any of them, none of them, you know? Like, not even Cardano, Solana, any of them, you know? It's just a mechanism for me to make more Bitcoin. That's it, you know? And if you get more attached than that, then you're going to be bag holding a shit coin when it crashes, basically. So close to 100 likes, by the way, ladies and gents. Smash them up if you are enjoying the stream so far. Double check once again that you are subscribed. This is just giving you realistic, grounded, sensible analysis. That's all this YouTube channel is. If you like the sound of that, then you are in the right place. So that's very, very cool. But let's come back to Bitcoin here for a second. Let's talk about Bitcoin's price actions. So, you know, we've already covered that it's just kind of like in free fall right now. The next real level to see Bitcoin fall down to is probably going to be 120, which is this first yellow box up here. Failing that, you know, it's got support in this whole range, by the way. Like, this whole range was just consolidation zone for Bitcoin. So, you know, this whole range totally makes sense for Bitcoin to kind of, wow, gold hit 4K. We'll look at that in a sec. But this whole range makes a lot of sense for Bitcoin to just kind of consolidate. I'm sorry, bounce off of. But, you know, this would kind of be like the lower boundary of that. A fool says, listen to Simon and you'll make money. I mean, yeah, usually does go that way. Not to say that I'm anyone's financial advisor, of course. Read the disclaimer. But I do think, you know, I mean, been doing this for 8 years. I think people that have kind of stayed locked to what we do have done incredibly well. I've done incredibly well. So, gold and silver hitting some highs. Let's take a look at gold. So, yeah, wow, gold did hit basically 4K here. That's the high, and it came within $9 of 4,000, fam. So that is beautiful. And oh man, well, that's interesting. It's interesting that ended up happening. I know that the dollar ended up hitting a long-term support level today. So it makes sense that happened off the back of gold basically hitting a new all-time high. Maybe not today then, probably recently, but this is what Trump's America has given us, I guess. A crashing dollar, more or less, but whatever. I'm not going to look into this too much. You know, Trump actually did fairly well for the dollar last time. I don't know. He just kind of kept it stable. He just kind of kept it because he would have been in office from like January 17 to 2021, right? So, I mean, there was a pretty nice rally toward the end. No, this was all Biden. Yeah, Trump just kind of kept this shit sideways, I guess. So that was good for the markets. So, you know, could it be that he does it again? It would be nice. It would be nice. We don't really want a pumped up dollar, do we? I mean, I'm not saying I want the dollar to crash. That's very bad for Americans. That would be very bad. But, you know, we don't want this thing flying either. I think the benefits are marginal. You know, it gives some Americans advantages over other countries, but doesn't really make you richer, per se. You know, but a kind of suppressed dollar will make investments go up, and I think that's a lot more interesting. My friend also told me it's a good idea to buy ADA right now at 0.383. I like the idea of buying Cardano. You know what? I'm probably gonna buy some Cardano like right now, like right after the stream. I'm probably gonna buy a little bit of Cardano. You know, I just think that it's a nice kind of you know, position to be looking at right now. So that's something I'll keep an eye out for. By the way, those of you that are interested in buying these coins, Caleb and Brown, great OTC exchange. I mean, you know, a lot of your exchanges, they're normal exchanges. OTC is personalized, special. You know, you speak to a broker one-to-one. These guys are Australia based. I've put volume through these guys. You know, I've put some decent volume through these guys, and they're flawless. You know, like they will settle your money in your bank account anywhere in the world, as long as the bank account is in your name. And you know, you can throw crypto. You can deposit crypto. You can, you know, convert it to fucking Cardano, whatever you like. You can convert it back to, you know, USD, GBP, whatever you like, and send it around the world in your bank account. So really, really cool. Definitely check out Caleb and Brown if you're interested in that kind of thing. And obviously, Bybit linked in the description here, Blowfin linked in the description here. Both phenomenal exchanges. Check them out if you're not from a restricted region, because you get tons of free cash that you can trade with. You know, you deposit money and they will give you free money to trade with. And if you profit with that money, you get to keep those profits. You get to withdraw those profits. So that's really, really cool. Let's see what else we got here. Cardano versus XRP. I mean, XRP is great, right? Like, XRP's got that narrative. I think XRP is fantastic as well. XRP is another kind of long-term hold that really makes sense. I really like XRP at these levels, dude. Like, you know, now that it's dropping down to like this yellow box here, like this is a really nice level, I think, to be picking up some XRP, because if this thing does, let's say, fall down to like around here, just getting back up to that high alone is a 40% move. But if it produces a big pump after that, you know, you're looking at like a 2-3x on your Bitcoin potentially. So, you know, I think XRP is in a really, really good position. The thing that I really like about XRP right now is the simple, straightforward fact that it doesn't typically ever pump and consolidate, right? Like, this has never really happened. Like, from what I can see on this chart, it's never gone up and then just gone sideways. It's never really done that. So, you know, XRP against Bitcoin here looks really, really good. And XRP against the dollar is doing the same thing. You know, again, against the dollar, it's never really managed to produce a pump and then just hold on to it, other than right here in mid-2017. Because in mid-2017, 𝐂𝐿𝐴 is not available in Canada. I'll speak to them about that. Because I'm pretty sure they are available in Canada, dude. I don't think that's correct. I'm pretty sure they are available in Canada. But I'll speak to them about that. But you know, this thing right here, you know, was the only time that I can see that XRP has ever produced a massive pump and then just literally held on to it. And it did result in another pump from there. And, you know, from the point that it pumped to, you know, its high, that was a 1,300% gain. 1,300% gain against the dollar. That's a 14x, okay? So that is crazy shit. We've done it right. We did it right here. We've already done it, actually, in this market cycle. We got this nice big pump. It was a 500% move. And then, you know, this next leg from low to high was nearly double. So that's really, really cool as well. You know, from kind of that midpoint to the high, that was still a solid 60%. So again, like, if anything like this happens again, this puts, you know, XRP toward basically $4 or $5. So definitely one that I think is interesting as far as holds. And yeah, like I said, it's really approaching a very nice buy level. So I definitely like the look of that. I definitely think that that looks good as it is right now at this current stage in this market. So that's going to be something I'll keep an eye out for as well. Back to Bitcoin here just for a sec. It is dipping back down. We did see a recovery when we fell down to this level, but that recovery was very short-lived. That recovery only lasted 11 minutes or so, and we're now back down to the same level. So the chance of us breaking now is very high, I think. You know, we've kind of sealed that fate at this point that we are falling down to 120. So we'll just see how that goes here over these next few minutes on this live stream. Let me know how you're feeling in the live chat, ladies and gents. Are we feeling bullish overall? Are we feeling bearish overall? Like, in terms of, you know, just kind of general, like, overall vibes in this market. Like, how do we feel overall? We got Seattle here. What's going on, Seattle? Welcome to the live stream. We'll just see how this goes here, because Bitcoin is in a little bit of a slide. This is all bullish, but I agree it is very, very bullish. Bullish, but waiting for a small correction to enter along. Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. And a small correction is basically to be like, you know, 120, 117, 116, somewhere around there, I think makes sense. Yeah, so that's Bitcoin continuing to slide there, 121.2. We got a request to look at Link. So let's take a look at Chainlink. Where's Chainlink? It's right here. Chainlink. Looking all right. Not looking too bad. No, like, it's in good posture. It's in good posture. It's in a little bit of a pullback right now, but I like it. Let's look at it against Bitcoin. This chart is a lot more important. And against Bitcoin, it's kind of looking like Cardano. It's looking very similar to Cardano. And it looks like it's at a buy level right now. It looks like it doesn't typically get much lower than this against Bitcoin unless something gets kind of bad. What's up, Leo Swipes? Welcome to the live stream. I think 100K level for Bitcoin is realistic. Yeah, sure. But, I mean, we would need things to change. We would need, you know, the S&P to really drop first. I don't think Bitcoin is just going to drive itself down there for no reason. Yeah, 117 on the daily, 21 EMA. I will long it. Yeah, that makes sense. We don't see powerful moves up. I think that's why there's so little interest in crypto. You're 100% correct, dude. That's exactly what's going on. It's literally that crypto is not a cocaine-fueled fucking party anymore. You know, it's just kind of like boring, basically. But, you know, whatever. I mean, we're just here to make money, man. I don't really care. You know? Pen, shit, almost late for live stream. Almost late for work watching this live stream. Gotta go. All right, dude, take care. Thank you for tuning in. Don't be late for work. If we go down to 100K with the S&P doing nothing, we are screwed. We're not gonna bounce back before end of year in that case, if at all. I mean, I don't know. Bitcoin's fallen down there like 5 times, you know, and it's been fine every time, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, it would be bad if we fall down for a 6th time, I guess. It's just different, you know, it's different perspectives on the same thing. But just woke up. What happened? Why we read? Nothing, dude. Nothing. Just a little pullback. S&P is down, so Bitcoin's down. It's really not that fun or chaotic in crypto. I'm sorry to break it to you. I know that we're looking for like bigger thrills and we want to have like a reason to be excited, but you're not getting it on this YouTube channel. I'm sure you go somewhere else, you'll get all sorts of sensationalized stuff as far as analysis, but you won't get it here on this channel. We're just gonna be like, yeah, well, whatever. It's dropping. Support is here. Support is here. This is what, you know. This is what it might look like. This is what the dump is telling us. You know, there's not a whole lot we're gonna say beyond that because we're not here for thrills. We're just here to make some money. I'm I really stress that point a lot because I think it's so important. Let's look at SPX 6900. Got a little request here. 6900. Let's see what's going on here. What chart do I use? Let's use this one. Go on the 4 hour. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks like a level that, you know, makes sense for a bounce. I wouldn't buy these things, though, because if Bitcoin's going to keep dropping, then these coins are probably going to drop harder. So I wouldn't be buying anything right now, but it's interesting to see, you know. Not a whole lot we can say on that. Do I think this pullback is that... You think the pullback is deeper than a retracement? I'm wondering if I should TP up. I'm up 400%. Kind of dreamed if... Dude, your comment is so hard to read. If hold for... Nah, you need to rewrite your comment, dude. I don't even understand what you're saying. Let me try one more time. Do I think the pullback is deeper than a retrace? Nah, I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. Can we look at Solana? Yeah, we'll take a quick look at Solana. It's not doing anything, dude. None of these coins are really moving much, you know? Like, Solana's just kind of like where it was for the last few days. What are my thoughts on M2 money supply versus Bitcoin? I mean, isn't it like super bullish for Bitcoin, what it's telling us? That's cool, but I don't really look at that, you know? I don't think it's like that crazy. But yeah, here's Solana against Bitcoin, and then Solana against the dollar. Both look good. Both look fine. You know, I don't think that there's anything like too crazy worth reading into it. What do I think about MicroStrategy? It's a second tier stock, right? I mean, it's a second tier as far as like it's a secondary market. So I don't really care about it too much. What do I think about the senator who said that the US would build its crypto reserves at any time? I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. You know, like, what is the US government going to do? I don't think it's important. Hit up the likes, guys. Thank you very much, Migs. Really appreciate it. We're at 120. See if we can hit 150 likes, legends. Thank you all very much. Make sure you are subscribed if you're brand new to the channel. I don't really think too much about what any senator says or the U.S. government. You know, I just don't. You know, beyond the baseline, you know, love and toned like lower levels of hostility toward crypto. You know, beyond that, I don't really think that anything related to the U.S. government is going to be important for crypto. I don't think this is a U.S. government thing. I mean, you know, as far as they just don't get in the way and maybe even make it a little bit easier. Yeah. Okay. So I got a short at 126K with 100x leverage. Holy shit. I was thinking to myself, is this a retracement? I'm wondering if I TP or... Okay. So first of all, 100x leverage is fucking crazy, dude. Please, nobody watching this, don't use 100x leverage. Or do, I don't know, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but shit, like 100x is kind of crazy. But good on you, dude. I mean, 400%, that's kind of crazy. Good job. Look, man, when you see a gain like that, like for me, I just close the whole damn thing, you know? Like I don't even play that game. You know, if I got a crazy gain, I'm usually just going to close it. I might not close it all. I'll probably close like, you know, 60% of it, 75% of it, something else. Even Leo himself is saying, guys, don't do it. Yeah, it's not going to work for most people doing something like that. It won't even work for the same person usually multiple times. You know, it's generally just not going to work. But you know, if you're up a massive amount, it doesn't even matter what the chart says. I would typically just kind of, you know, close a significant portion of that trade just to kind of lock in that gain. And as for if this is like a healthy retracement or something bigger, I think this is more of a healthy retracement for sure. You know, I don't think we've seen any sign to tell us that this is concerning at all. I think, pardon me, I'm getting hiccups. I think this market has only proven to us that, you know, it's looking really strong and stable and steady. Basically, like, you know, for I mean like years, to be honest, like for a couple of years it's been looking like that. But especially short term here. And here's Bitcoin. If we just take a look at that right hand side of the screen, just dipping down again. So it looks like Bitcoin is going to be basically hitting that support level that I outlined for you guys very soon. Because again, I just don't see where it can possibly find support in this range, and it's already kind of dropping down a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on this to see, you know, if Bitcoin does end up basically finding support in this yellow box here or not. But we are definitely pushing this thing a little bit lower. We got some we got some opinions coming around in the live chat right now. Would I be shorting right now? Hell no. Hell no. No way. That's such a risky trade. I mean, like, for what? Like, it's an uptrend, you know? Like, where are you going to short down to? Basically, you can only short down to a support level, right? I was like, well, which support level? Well, we're very close to one of them, and we're not too far away from the next one, too. I don't think shorting makes sense here at all. You know, like it's just excessive trading. It, you know, like it's not even that like shorting might make money. It might, but at that point you're day trading. And if you're day trading, you're probably going to be a massive loser in the market. That's, you know, usually how this goes. I've been a day trader too. It didn't go well for me. You know, I've day traded too. I don't like day trading. Day trading is not easy. You're essentially competing against bots that are a lot better than you at the same thing. So yeah, Geo says as well, hell no, looking for more longs. I think if anything, it's just a market to look for more longs. Because again, it's like, where's the upside on your shorts, right? Your short upside is capped. You don't have, you know, a lot of upside on a short position. I'm talking in terms of raw percent, not, you know, you use 100% leverage, 100x leverage, and obviously anything's possible, but no one's using 100x leverage realistically. So, you know, I think the real money is in going long, because I feel, you know, there's a lot more uptrend left than downtrend. And with that in mind, you know, it totally makes sense to kind of be well positioned for that. I'm pretty sure this is a trap for the bears. Short interest is abnormally high at the highs. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I agree with you. Do I usually trade a support level bounce? Yeah, those are the kind of things I want to see. I want to see support levels, you know, bouncing off support levels, going long on those levels, maybe a deviation. Maybe we deviate below support, so I might set my entry a little bit lower than that support level, but that's kind of, you know, what I like. That's what I like to see. Rossini says, I do day trade, however, my goal is maximum 3% a day. I mean, that's very healthy. Yeah, you know, with that kind of approach. And then you just kind of like, you know, it's almost like arbitrage at that point. You're just kind of like scraping what you can get. Here's Bitcoin, by the way, just continuing to dip down right here. It's now fallen below 121,000. And if we look at it right here, it is getting very, very close to that support level as well. So we'll wait to see how this continues to play out. Bitcoin has nearly swept the low from... what was this, like 90 minutes ago or something? Yeah, like 2 hours ago. It's nearly swept that low, so we'll see how this goes for Bitcoin. We'll keep an eye out for this as well. Yeah, 3% a day for day trading, you know, is pretty healthy. Most people are not going to stick to that, but, you know, if you got like 150K, 250K, you know, if you're running with like 250, then, you know, 3% profit in a day is... oh my god, I'm so bad at math, I'm embarrassing myself. That's like $7,500, you know, which is super nice for a day, right? Like $7,500 if you're pulling that like half a month, you know, every day. I mean, for half of the days in a month, you know, 7 times 15 sounds like a lot of money, like $100,000. So, you know, like, I mean, that's if you're gonna hit those kind of things, but you know, and then there's also the downside, right? You could you know, lose. So, but I think if you're going for 3%, you know, you can in a lot of cases you could kind of just pick anything. and just wait for it to fucking move in your direction, you know, and then close it, have the discipline to close it. And the compounding is real. It is, you know, it would work if you go for these very conservative approaches. But you're still trading against bots, you know, and you're not going to get around that. That's inherently going to put any human trader at a massive disadvantage. Ladies and gents, we're getting close to 150 likes. Can we hit it? If you haven't already smashed up those likes, smash them up now. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe now. Now's your time, ladies and gents. We are seeing the bull market continuing to pop off here. It's slow, it's boring, but it's the best we're going to get. We are in it right now. And yeah, might not be what we're looking for, but the fact that it's here is what's most important. And you want to be locked to a great YouTube channel while it's happening, right? You want to know what's going on properly. So Leo Swipe, smash the motherfucking likes, boys and girls. Who else goes lives like this handsome man all the time? Thank you very much, Leo. You legend. I'm sure you're very handsome too, sir. Geo says we're going down from somewhere between 116 to 118, which I think makes so much sense. I think that's very realistic here. So close to 150. Yeah, we basically hit it. You legends. Thank you all very, very much. We all love Sammy. Thank you, dude. Thank you. And there's Bitcoin just literally hanging out at the low that it just set 2 hours ago. So it's definitely at a potential break point here. We'll see what it does with this break point, but we might be about to watch Bitcoin fall below support. Well, it's not really even a support level, but you know, we might be able to, you know, watch Bitcoin just slide down pretty quickly here if I mean, maybe we produce a small, very, very short-term bounce, but I don't think we're going to get much more than that. J Mandy, that's what I do. I day trade 250k, 80 to 100k a year micro trades. Been working for now. Yeah, fair enough, dude. I mean, when you got volume, right? When you got like, you know, low to mid 6 figures minimum, you can totally, you know, just scrape tiny gains and it'll be money, you know, like. Again, like if you're just trading with 100k and you're pulling 3%, you know, for 10 days a month, that's still 30 grand at the end of the month. So, you know, no matter how you slice it, you're making fucking money, dude. You're making money, you know, if you're trading that style. With that kind of volume, more importantly. You need the volume, right? Like you can't be using like little shrimp size volume. Like it needs to be, you know, decent volume. King Wigger, I think it keeps going up, and the worst bear market we see from here is maybe 50%. Yeah, I think I've been thinking something similar, dude. I've been thinking something similar. You know, I don't know how many kind of 80%, 70% drops we're getting anymore, you know, at this point, but 50 totally makes sense. In your opinion, which one of the popular crypto perform better when the Bitcoin start going down? Wow, it's not me. Some of you guys really just type weirdly. All right, let me try that again. In your opinion, which of these popular crypto performs better when the Bitcoin starts going down? Well, I don't really know of many that do well when Bitcoin is crashing, but Binance Coin is probably one of the better ones. It's probably one of the better ones. James says a 275 daily profit is 100k a year. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, that's gonna add up over time. But 100k a year isn't even that much money anymore, dude. You know, like that's a pretty like normal salary in countries like America now. You know, like low 6 figures is not even a thing anymore, you know? So I don't even want to like aim for that. Don't you think we'd get a steeper bear market because of the ETFs? I mean, the only button ETF holders can press at some point is sell. Well, you know, that's kind of similar to anything else in my experience. So, you know, I think that's not a new risk that we'd be dealing with, but steeper bear market because of ETFs? Not really. But it's Bitcoin, dude. Like, we could totally still get massive wipeouts, and I would like to see them. I mean, you know, it's good for the market, and it's fun. In a weird, psychotic way, it's fun. Pepe Anon Trades asking, is it better to have a funded account? You know, for some people it is. I mean, for some people, all you got to do is pay that fee, take the test, and get your funded account. And then, you know, as long as you don't get scammed, you know, by the platform, it could be a better approach. It could. And there are, there are some other benefits, some legal benefits of doing stuff like that as well, depending on, what kind of laws you're subject to. So, it's probably worth looking into for some people, but I think for the most part, for most people, it's generally going to be a waste of time. It's just unnecessary fluff that I don't think most people need. I think most people need to focus on, trading better, improving their discipline, stuff like that. Whether you use a trading account or not, a funded account or not, I don't really think it makes much of a difference at all, in real life. I just don't think it's like anything that really moves the needle overall. But Bitcoin, tiny bounce right here. Now we can really start to kind of analyze strength for Bitcoin here on this ultra short-term perspective here, because what we've got for Bitcoin now is essentially, a pretty quick, we're on the 1 minute time frame here. We got a pretty quick, bounce off this weak support level. We basically spent a matter of seconds down here, and then within 2 minutes we had recovered basically back up to before that dump really got really, really bad. So, that was a sign of the market having a lot of strength to kind of recover. On this occasion here, the dump was a little bit slower. We spent a little bit more time, and our subsequent bounce doesn't look as strong, although it looks close, but not as strong as it was before. So we're definitely producing a more lackluster bounce this time. And that means if Bitcoin does something like, comes up here, maybe sideways a tiny bit, if it comes back down, at that point, it's probably definitely gonna, it just increases the chance that it's gonna crash. If it, at this point, the fact that it's producing a weaker, slower bounce than last time, the fact that the bounce literally initiated off the low, but in this case we kind of hung out at the low for a few minutes, and we are on a very small time frame here. That's really important, to keep in mind that this time frame is not realistic. But when you are in higher volatility periods, you can analyze smaller time frames a tiny bit more because there's just more liquidity flowing around in the market. But in any case, I don't think that we saw a particularly strong reaction here as far as what I would like to see. And comparing that to last time, it does look like Bitcoin might have to kind of capture some resistance, maybe at 121.4, maybe a tiny bit higher than that, and then we might be able to see it kind of really just drop down toward that real 120k level that we were looking for. Metals are up, stocks are up, crypto is up, and now the DXY has weekly bullish divergences. See you in 4 years. So Adam is basically saying that everything we can speculate on, meaning precious metals, stocks, and crypto, are all up. Meanwhile, the dollar, which typically goes down when our investments goes up, and the dollar typically goes up when our investments go down. It's an inverse correlation. If the dollar is up, investments are down. If the dollar is down, investments are up. Adam is saying because of that, because the dollar is now showing signs that it might be ready to blast off, that we're done. And, we're going to have to wait 4 years for something fun again. This is a very, very, very popular theory in the market right now. And a lot of people are saying it. And by virtue of a lot of people saying it, I don't think it's going to happen. I think that it's very unlikely that it's going to happen. When you have so many people calling for the end of a bull market, you're not getting the end of a bull market. That's just kind of my experience. 2021 high was 4 years and 3 days ago. Yeah, right. And this is the thing, is there's a lot of 4-year theory stuff going on right now. And I've been very vocal about how I don't really put much credence on these theories at all. I don't think that they're reasonable, sensible, realistic. I just never really cared for them very much. But that's just me personally. But it's a very popular opinion, Adam, and a lot of smart people hold that opinion. Historically, Bitcoin tops clustered in November to December in a 4-year cycle. I think I need to make a video on this, dude. Yeah, Adam's. I think this take from Adam, I fully agree with. Adam says, of course not. As a trader, you trade the trend until the trend breaks. And what he's saying now is, even though this 4-year cycle kind of implies that, we're topping here, until we get a reason from the market, we shouldn't kind of go balls to the walls with those ideas. And I fully agree with you. I think that's a really important bit of nuance to kind of sprinkle in here, because a lot of people are just going to start kind of scaling out of their positions purely because you know, it looks like the dollar might start moving, and you know, other things are kind of potentially at a top. But realistically, you know, we don't want to be making those kind of decisions prematurely, and the best way to avoid making these decisions prematurely is simply by ensuring that we're not taking action unless the trend tells us that something changed. And seems like I've got Adam's agreement there, so that's very cool. What price would be a good entry for Cardano? I want to go long 10x. I don't know, dude. Figure it out. That's not a question for me. See you in 4 years. Yeah, I mean, you know, some people are gonna have that take, and that's cool. Hajim says Q4 2024 DXY was sending, but market still did well. Could have been an exception though. Exactly, dude. Exactly. And we know why the dollar was going up in Q4. It's because interest rates dropped in Q4 of last year. So not only did interest rates drop, which should have been a sign that we're going to hit a bear market, we didn't. You guys have been here with me for the last year. The markets are very bullish. But not only were we supposed to do that with, you know, interest rates dropping, the dollar moving up was also supposed to be a problem for us. And neither of those things affected the market. And I think that's because we were just so damn bullish with, you know, like everybody kind of knew that Trump was going to get elected. I think it was quite obvious for, you know, basically from the point that he got shot on July 13, 2024. You know, but even before that, you know, I thought it was very obvious that Trump was going to win. And the markets were definitely pricing that in a little bit. But when he did win, it was just a massive explosion from there of excitement. And, you know, that kind of completely negated, you know, any overarching kind of things that would typically be bearish. And I think we're still living in that right now, firmly. Just to add a bit of nuance to the interest rate cuts, it seems more like 2008 to 11 than 2021. I'm not sure what you mean by that, dude. I'd love to see a chart, though. If you want to send me one on, you can send one on Telegram or something. The team will send it to me. Everyone on Bitcoin has an extremely short time horizon. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I agree. But let's bring it back to Bitcoin here. We're seeing, you know, just continuing on with that little bounce right here. How can you send a chart? Just go ahead and send it over to the team here on this direct 4Flies contact link, and I'll get the chart from them. And I'll put it up on stream. But yeah, if you guys do want to reach out, get inside of our exclusive one-to-one program. That's basically like a coaching program. Super cool. We've had incredible results out of that. Everyone that's ever joined has paid off their investment fee within a couple of weeks. And it is a serious program. I mean, it's a transformation in many ways, but it does work incredibly well. So if you want to get yourself inside, find out a little bit more, then you can reach out using this link in the description as well. But yeah, dude, send over your chart. We can take a look. While we are here, if you want to check out some of the best exchanges in the game, you already know the deal, ladies and gents. Just incredible bonuses when you start trading using these links. All you got to do is deposit and start trading, and you're going to get more free money to throw back into the market. And if you make profits with those free money, with the free money that you get, you can withdraw it as well. So check it out if you're not from a restricted region. Make sure you read the disclaimers in the description here. But all right, so we got this chart right here. Oh, I cannot read this. Okay, let's see. What is this chart? I don't even know who this chart came from, but I'm guessing it was the same guy. What are we looking at? I don't even know what this chart shows us, dude. Like, I don't know what the point of it is, specifically, is what I'm saying. But yeah, anyway, that's we'll look at that when we get some more clarity. There's Bitcoin continuing on. That's exactly what I said, dude. That's exactly what I was saying a few minutes ago. I was like, you know, it might come up, get a bit of resistance at 121.4. It topped out within, you know, $40 of that level, and we're dropping down already. So smash up the likes for that, ladies and gents. We've got some pretty cool real-time analysis here on this live stream. That's pretty cool. Do I look at any indicators or charts that I personally like for tops? No. I don't look at anything to identify tops because I don't know how to identify tops. You can use Fibonacci extensions and stuff like that, but nothing is truly particularly reliable for this. So I don't really try and kind of forecast tops in my analysis. I just kind of roll with what I get. Devine says it's totally possible for the USD to climb and Bitcoin to go up at the same time. How come? Forex pouring in to buy USD and Bitcoin. I think it's speculation, right? like these are general negative correlations that we expect, but they're long time horizons. This is something that we expect to see on, essentially a multi-year or 6-month minimum kind of time horizon, not something super short term. So, we could totally still get it. It would just be, at a different time frame than what we expect. As for indicators, though, since you did ask, I do want to throw a couple on this chart. And, because I haven't done that so far, and I usually do that by this point in the live stream. We've been live for an hour now, which is pretty cool. So, 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, which I think is one of the better zones of support for Bitcoin here, is lining up on the 11th of October, which is 4 days away. So, if we can just kind of hold on, mess about for 4 days and we're good, maybe even dip down a tiny bit and then, like whatever. But this level definitely lines up here, which is really nice. I think this is a really, really strong, reliable potential zone for Bitcoin. So I definitely want to see how Bitcoin might kind of interact with that level. On the daily time frame, this Ichimoku cloud is way lower and only really comes into action in early November at the 117K level. But still important to look at. We've looked at this many times and we've seen the price kind of inching toward these kind of levels. As far as momentum goes, we've already failed it, haven't we? Oh, no, we haven't, but we've penetrated very deep into it. If you have a link, Leo, just send it on Telegram as well. Feel free. And I will take a look on stream. But, yeah, so again, if you guys want to send anything in, just literally just, send it here and I will make sure to get it thrown up on stream. But yeah, daily EMA ribbon right there, 4-hour EMA ribbon rather. Not telling us a whole lot. Daily EMA ribbon, yeah, starts at about 170. This is what I'm saying, dude. Like, we've got a ton of support, at these ranges, and we haven't really hit any of it yet. So I think this is going to be a very interesting, important thing to watch play out. I do. I think it's going to be quite important. But yeah, if you guys got links, just send them over on Telegram. Definitely the easiest place to send it and get it featured on stream. All right, let's see what else we got here. I think, I'm kind of wrapping up with this stream, to be honest. I've said pretty much everything I wanted to say. I am willing to just watch Bitcoin a little bit more, see if Bitcoin does end up doing anything interesting and fun. It definitely looks like it wants to. It's been trying to throughout this entire live stream. How can I share the link without seeming like a spam comment? You may find it interesting. Send it on Telegram, dude. Send it right here on Telegram, and a member of the team will send it over to me. This is the best way for you to send a link, because then my guys can also screen your link and make sure you're not sending us some fucking CP or something. So because someone's gonna like try and send some fucked up shit too. But yeah. That's Bitcoin right there, back at those lows. Let's see how this goes. Have I looked at Doge yet? I mean, all these coins largely move in the same way, so I don't really care too much. But Doge, yeah, Doge isn't doing anything interesting. It's just kind of chilling where it is. I mean, it's moved up a little bit. Now it's sideways, whatever. Doge against Bitcoin, probably a lot more interesting, but not actually that much more interesting. It looks really good, though, man. I mean, it looks like it's going to do very well against Bitcoin. I definitely think that looks good, but beyond that, there's not a whole lot I can say about this Doge chart, to be honest. Let's bring it back to Bitcoin. I really just want to see what happens to Bitcoin here if we do end up kind of penetrating below some of these lows here. We're really trying to keep it steady above this level, but I don't know if it's going to be possible. I don't know how likely that's going to be. All right, so let's see what this link is. CBBI is a Bitcoin index utilizing advanced real-time analysis of 9 metrics to help understand what stage of the Bitcoin bull run and bear market cycles we're in. The confidence score indicates whether we are approaching the top or bottom of a Bitcoin cycle. Confidence, we're at the peak, 77 out of what? Out of 100, I'm assuming. The CBBI algorithm and website are 100% open source. Okay, so it has got a very nice correlation with tops. It was showing us that we should have topped around 70k, and then again around 100, and then again around 118, and now it's a tiny bit lower. If we take a look at this with 2021, we can see Bitcoin's price represented by these dots and the histogram or the chart behind it represented representing where it thinks we're going to top. So let's do something here that helps us understand how useful this actually is. So the first thing I want to do, because I don't know how visible this is to people watching live, is I want to zoom right in so that this is easier for everyone to see. And I want to start looking at this. Like, see, when it gets to a CBBI confidence level of 9, which is pretty close to fucking 0. And at this point, you're going to start being interested in buying. And honestly, that's not bad. You know, you missed the low by like 5K. So that's pretty good. As far as the tops, that's pretty good too. As far as the peaks, so it seems pretty accurate that like if you hit the super high levels, you know, like basically brush up against 100, then you're probably topping. And we haven't actually done that yet at any point in this market cycle. So that definitely indicates that we have some more space left to go. There was a big peak here. And then obviously we hit 100 in 2017. So yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I mean, you know, when you get to those extremely high levels, it does seem to kind of predict those tops for Bitcoin. Now, they're not necessarily long-term tops. Let's keep that in mind. So this top was predicted by 87, which we've been around 87 in this market cycle. But it was only a top from, you know, what was this? April 2013 to it went really crazy again October 2013. So 6 months later. It was only a 6-month top, really. Bringing it back to present day, 77 right now. I mean, I guess it looks realistic. I don't know. I think we're going a lot higher than what this than what this suggests, though. I think that I think we could, you know, like if we're at 77 now, what does that put the top at? Like 150, 160, 170, around there, based on CBBI from what I can see. Assuming a CBBI reading of like 98, 97, you know, at like 150, 160, 170. I think we're going way higher than that. And clearly it resets a little bit, right? Like, you know, we are at much higher price levels now than when the CBBI was at 83. The CBBI was at 83 at a price of 106K. Now we're at 121K. My chair gives me cat ears. It's so funny. Yeah, it does. Just move the headrest, I guess. I don't know if that fixes it. Not really. But I think you know, the fact that it hit 83 when the price was so much lower, and now we're so much higher and the reading is lower, you know, it clearly just kind of adjusts based on. And what is it? These things that contribute to it, that contribute to the CBBI reading. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do. It's a nice chart though. Thanks for sending it in, Leo. I appreciate it. We'll take a look at this. We'll keep this in mind. I mean, it seems like a nice kind of additional kind of confirmation tool that somebody could use. Definitely, you know, interesting to look at. Rainbow line displays the Bitcoin price line using the CBBI score for the color of each point. So basically, when the Bitcoin price gets pretty dark, that's when, you know, you're topping out in both directions or bottoming out. Bitcoin nose diving to 0. Yeah, it is crashing right now. It did just sweep that low while we were off screen here. And definitely not nose diving to 0 at all. But yeah, it is in a little bit of a dump. We got another viewer sending in a chart of Dogecoin. Showing a potential support zone at about 17 cents. What is this? So the CBBI is basically fear and greed. It looks similar. Yeah, I think a lot of these metrics are going to be similar for sure. Okay, so this chart that a viewer sent in earlier basically serves to show us how closely Bitcoin tracks traditional finance and how closely altcoins tracks the Russell 2000. So I think, yeah, this is definitely cool. I think we knew this. I can't zoom in, unfortunately, on this chart. It doesn't let me zoom in. But yeah, no, it lines up with what we know. We know that the altcoin market is really in tune with, or crypto in general is really in tune with traditional finance. Here's Bitcoin, though, just real quick. It's getting very close to that support level, so we might see something happening here during this stream now. We've already kind of seen a bit of this dump continuing to take hold on the market. We are in a tiny correction upward right now, so maybe this tops out at 121, maybe somewhere around there. The majority of the decline in these bear markets occurred after the Fed's pivot. The Fed pivoted here, and we're basically counting this as the drop. Is that right? No, I don't know which chart this is. I don't know what this is showing us, because this is 2010s here, so this must be 2020s. So which drop is this, though? Is this the COVID crash? I don't even know what this chart is really showing us, but Leo swipes short is up 430%. There you go. Jim Bob, this is cool. I've missed some of the streams lately. I like seeing viewers sending some interesting stuff in. Hell yeah, I love it. I love it. You guys, if you want to send stuff in, send it in. I'm happy to look at. If you got a specific chart you want me to look at, send it in. So this is something we used to do for VIP members, and it was just a paid thing. But let's do it. Let's do it with everybody. If you guys, you know, these streams are so good for my confidence. Thanks, Sam. You're very welcome, Gio. You're very, very welcome. So lovely to see you in these live chats, dude. I love it. Where to send? If you guys want to send charts in, then send it straight to the team right here, and it will get forwarded on to me. Right here, this Telegram link in the chat. This is where you want to send it in. But yeah, cool to see that that we're doing this for sure. What does this show? What is it that shows shorts versus longs currently in the market? Is it open interest? I forgot. Open interest shows the positions that are open, you know, versus closing. But if you want to see like longs versus shorts, that could be the Binance long short page. That would be one to look at. Or there's probably like aggregates now online that you can just have in like Bitcoin long short ratio and stuff like that. I don't really think looking at that is particularly important, though. I don't look at that anymore. I used to look at it a lot, but I realized overall it's I don't know. I just didn't find it to be reliable enough to use consistently, personally. The point of that chart with Tradfi, is this the one you're talking about? I'm not sure which chart you mean, but it's to show what's different to last cycles in 13, 17, 21. The Russell went with other major indices. I don't know if I fully even understand the point you're making, though, dude. Like, I think I get it a little bit, but not enough to like talk about it here on YouTube. You know, I want to be confident when I'm talking. But yeah, here's Bitcoin just kind of continuing that rally up, but you know, I don't know how long this is gonna last. All right, guys, I'm probably gonna head off. Probably gonna call the stream here. I think what we'll do is I'll come back if something interesting starts happening. But as it stands right now, Bitcoin's just kind of, you know, fallen down to its next support level. And yeah, so I'll wait to see how that goes. I think we got another chart sent in from a viewer. Let's take a look at that quickly. Interesting channel Bitcoin has been in since the start of the bull market. Bear market? You mean but you mean bull market? Yeah, that is interesting. That is interesting, and definitely implies some upside. We'll see how that goes for Bitcoin. All right, guys, probably gonna round it off here. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a brilliant live stream. Smash up those likes. Thank you all for the engagement. It's really nice to see you know, like on a personal level, it is nice to see the channel picking up a little bit. It can be a little bit frustrating is not the right word. Disconcerting, not the right word. It can just be a little bit like demoralizing, you know, like getting on and like not getting pushed out to people who I know want to see the content. Purely because, you know, the system's broken. But you guys have been amazing, smashing up those likes and helping push us out. And it has, I think, brought the YouTube channel back to life a little bit. So I think definitely we'll just keep sticking to this. We'll be here. The more the market moves, the more we're streaming. You know, if there's interesting updates to give you, but you know, not enough to kind of live stream, then we'll just make a video. And we did also, I want to highlight this to you guys. We did also put out a completely exclusive post in the 𝗙𝗡𝗟𝗟𝗡 Telegram channel. So that's right here. If you guys want to get inside of the 𝗙𝗡𝗟𝗡𝗟𝗡 Telegram channel, that's this link in the description. And this is our free Telegram channel where we're giving you more kind of exclusives and stuff like that, which are really cool. So this one was a 5-minute analysis video that did not get published to YouTube, only to people on Telegram. And it was an exclusive market update just for viewers there. And the analysis was pretty good. Turned out to be correct. So, you know, definitely check that out if you're interested as well. This Telegram channel is great and it's free. And you get more cool stuff from us. So if you like this stuff, you're going to love that as well. Adam says, it's an indication that retail isn't here if viewership is low. And you are absolutely correct. You are correct on that. So again, that's probably a good thing for us. Because if retail isn't in yet, then obviously that might indicate better price action later on. This channel is awesome. Thank you very, very much. Man, I watch way more of you. I'm always checking for new wits. Thank you very much, dude. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, 15,000 odd people in that Telegram channel, so check it out with that link in the description. We also tell you about live streams, but we also post exclusives in there as well, so you're going to love that if you like this content. Join people. Sammy drops gold nuggets in there. Absolutely, yeah, from one of the viewers here. Hajim says, need to do a comparison between 𝗙𝗡𝗟𝗟𝗡 viewers and Bitcoin chart. Yeah, I'm down, dude. I'm down. If you guys want to send in charts that we take a look at on stream, and you just want me to like roast your fucking charts, I can do that too. I would love that. I think that would be really fun. But yeah, Bitcoin just kind of hanging out. So we'll be back if something interesting happens. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow or whatever. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, take care. Cheers.